Vermin spreads jam on his bread as he engages in a conversation with Lenore about the money he had borrowed. And after that discussion, Lenore, mischievous and playful, turns to Lucia with a mischievous grin. Lenore asks Lucia to go give Vermin a little friendly touch. Both Vernon and Lucia exchange awkward glances, unsure of how to react. Then Lucia extends her small claws and gently brushes them against Vermin's lips. Lenore, holding back laughter, revealed the secret that both of them are siblings. Vermin, still holding Lucia's hands, looks into her eyes and introduces himself with a warm smile. Vermin, sincerely Lucia, it's incredible to finally meet you. I've always felt a connection. I'm your brother, Vermin. Lucia's face lights up with joy as she embraces the truth and the friendly nature she had sensed in Vermin all along. A sense of joy was visible on Lucia's face. She was already in love with the friendly nature of Vermin. Vermin's attention turns to Lenore, still holding Lucia's hands. He begins to inquire about Pyrrha and Ablord, their father, and his involvement in recent events. Vermin turning to Lenore. Lenore, have you heard anything about Pyrrha and Ablord? Lucia's interest is instantly piqued upon hearing Pyrrha's name, and she knows his figures very well. Lucia is alert. Pyrrha and Ablord? What do you know about him, Vernon? Pyrrha, a tall, handsome, and determined knight who rose to prominence within the Imperial Knights. He won the prestigious swordsmanship competition, catching the attention of the king, who entrusted him with the task of escorting Princess Annelle. There was an unspoken love between Annelle and Pyrrha, their constant proximity yet inability to cross boundaries and have informal conversations. They spent countless moments together, but circumstances never succeeded to reduce their distance. Annelle admired him greatly, even attempting to get closer, but Pyrrha remained steadfast, avoiding crossing any lines. One day, Pyrrha approached Annelle to inform her about his decision to participate in the war, for which he has to resign as her escort knight. Pearl came to seek her permission to join the war on the southern battlefield. It was a heavy moment for both of them, and Annelle reluctantly gave her blessing while she was holding chess in her hands. She was sitting on her sofa. She tightened her grip out of helplessness. Little did they know, it would be their last encounter. Pyrrha's valiant efforts in the war led to his recognition as the best knight, eventually becoming the commander of the Knights Templar. Annelle, however, never had the chance to reunite with him. She used to hear about him from time to time in her palace. The conversation takes a somber turn as Lenore admits to hearing rumors about Pernan's connection to the king and Annelle's murder, calling him a crazy lad. A single tear rolls down Lucia's cheek. Lucia, emotional. Pernan, I hope these rumors are nothing but falsehoods. The siblings sit in contemplative silence, the weight of uncertainty and the desire for truth. Lenore, Lucia, and Vermin were sitting at the breakfast table. There's a peaceful silence in the air. Lenore broke the silence when he expressed his suspicion that the rumor might hold some truth. Vermin, on the other hand, refused to believe in this theory. Lucia was listening to this conversation keenly, in a confused state of mind. Lenore asked Vermin if he has any connection to Pyrrha by any chance, to which Vermin replied that he had never actually met him, but he is planning to meet him soon at the palace. Vermin gently strokes Lucia's back as he was exchanging words with his father. Lenore remarks that it has been a month since Lucia was born, yet she still remains a small creature and she looks like a newborn baby. Lucia feels a bit offended, but Lenore and Vermin share a smile. Lenore told Vermin that he will be heading to the capital soon while he is still playing with Lucia's face. Vermin requested his father if he would like to join him at the palace. He asked Pernan about the case. Lenore, accompanied by Lucia, enters his spacious office, located inside the castle, and peacefully settles into the chair. Eden, the butler, starts placing bundles of papers on Lenore's table, documents requiring his approval. Looking at the sheer amount of work, Lenore mischievously suggests borrowing Lucia's feet to sign the papers. He then starts praising Lucia, highlighting her unique features, a delicate tea pink color and big bright pink eyes, unlike any other divine beast. Lucia's eyes popped out in fear as her father revealed the secret of her being a divine beast in front of Eden, a human species. Lenore quickly clarifies that it is beyond Eden's realm of existence. Confused, Lucia questions his statement, but Eden interrupts, reminding Lenore of his task to sign the documents. Lenore nods and returns to his work. Time has passed, and Lenore has been working silently for 9 straight hours. Lucia feels uncomfortable and bored, sitting there motionless. Lenore looks at her and suggests they go see the shooting stars. Lucia sees this as an opportunity to explore the secretive castle. She swiftly jumps off the table and heads out of the office. The scene shifts to the palace of the Rohim Empire. The prince walks through the corridor and notices the princess's palace located in front of the emperor's palace. The prince recalls that the master of this palace is gone. Memories of meeting his sister in her palace about a month ago flood his mind, including the haunting image of the murder scene. As he enters a spacious room, he encounters a girl with long hair who smiles at him. She stands up, reaches out for the prince's arms, and praises the beauty of the palace. Then, to the prince's shock, the girl expresses her satisfaction with the demise of Princess Annelle. Lucia, the divine fox, sits perched on a kitchen shelf and amidst the royal chefs. They prepare cookies, salads, and fresh bread, their delicious scents drawing her attention. Curiosity piqued, Lucia was drawn by the aroma of refreshing food, so she followed the scent until she reached the kitchen. The staff freezes upon spotting the fox, not knowing where this creature came from, unsure of what to do. The head chef reminisced of Lenore's instructions to treat Lucia well because he loves her like his own daughter. Although not hungry, Lucia can't resist the enticing food and begins to indulge herself while she's sitting on the shelf. Everyone in the kitchen was amused to see Lucia eating this way. They are now happy that Lucia is present among them. Meanwhile, soft music captures everyone's attention. A chef, out of his surprise, loses grip of a jar of hot soup about to spill onto Lucia, but suddenly the kitchen fills with bright, intense light that everything becomes invisible. After a moment, the light dissipates, revealing the jar knocked away, moved back to its resting position, and a chef nursing a swollen forehead. He instantly apologizes to Lucia that he might cause harm to her unintentionally. Lucia, bewildered by what just occurred, wonders if she possesses some superpower. She gazes out of the kitchen window, captivated by a shooting star, contemplating the source of her strength. Vermin and Lenore came out of their rooms. They seemed to be prepared to head to the Imperial Palace. Lucia overhears the conversation. Reminded of her purpose for being there, she decides to join them. Thinking that she jumps onto Lenore's cloak, demands to be taken along, looking into Lenore's eyes with tears. Lenore, thinking it'd be inappropriate to leave Lucy alone at home, cradles her in his arms. Vermin smells the danger of taking her like an animal as it could cause problems. Vermin, as the master of the magic tower, decides to use his powers. He points his index fingers towards Lucia, emitting a beam of blue light that surrounds her and lifts her into the air. Lucia was shivering with terror. Nevertheless, Lucia's body undergoes a transformation, turning her into a baby girl with pink hair and eyes. Dressed in a tea-pink frock, she becomes the most adorable and lovable baby in the world. Once the magic is worn out, she will transform and restore to her fox form again. Lenore's emotions overwhelm him as he holds his daughter for the first time in human avatar. Seeing his daughter in human avatar, Lenore could not control his emotions and abruptly held her in his arms. He was asking Lucia to call him Dad, while Vermin insisted that Lucia must call Lenore as her brother. A heated argument started between them. On the other hand, Lucia was crying her eyes out for not being able to speak, nor did she want to be called someone else's daughter or sister. She just wanted to talk at the moment, but she could not. She had no control over her tears. Nevertheless, they began to move towards the palace. Rohim Palace, the castle surrounded by gardens of fresh fruits and flowers, depicted as a piece of heaven on the planet. Vermin and Lenore talk about Lucia when the guard led them to their destination. Vermin shows his concerns regarding the safeguard of his sister, Lucia. She's just born a month ago. To this, Lenore replies that divine beasts are inherently independent. They start living separately a while later after their hatching. Because of the slow growth of Lucia, she will ultimately need to protect her until she's grown up. Unaware to this, Lucia is lost, watching the walls of the palace, walls that used to be her home just a month ago. But now they are strange to her. Meanwhile, guards come and inform them that His Majesty is waiting for Lenore in the guest room. Watching herself being handed over to Vermin, Lucia started crying. She wants Lenore to take her with him. She wants to see her kill her brother. She wants revenge. Despite of her efforts, she could not make it to the guest room and ended up being with her brother Vermin. He takes Lucia to the nearest garden where she shows some red flowers, telling her that these are rare and very hard to find in the northern regions of the country. He holds the tiny hands of Lucia and asks her not to be sad, sitting in the shadow of a tree. Some blue beam starts coming out of Vermin's hands while the guard was wandering near him. He tries to hide the magic and starts moving to the other side that faces the princess's palace. He's about to say something when he hears the sound of breaking teapots. He follows the voice. It is Crown Princess Beyonce wearing a long red floral maxi, reprimanding one of her private female chefs for not making tea accordingly. Seeing her private handmaidens being scolded and treated badly by the Crown Princess, Lucia becomes devastated. Her mother dies a month after she gave birth to Lucia. Out of concerns, the king appointed personal handmaidens for Lucia who took care of her when she needed love and protection. The handmaidens who took care of Lucia like their own kid are treated so badly by Beyonce. These handmaidens are family for Lucia. She used to play with them, go for a walk with them, and talk to them. Lucia already knew that they were going to be treated badly, but she was not expecting this cruelty. Meanwhile, the Crown Princess pushes Lucia's favorite maid, and that old lady fell on the ground on her back. Lucia starts screaming, crying, and she tries hard to protect her and to refrain Beyonce from doing this, but words do not come out of her mouth. She's still unable to speak. Seeing this, Vermin is clueless why is Lucia reacting like this. Then suddenly Lucia turns into the Divine Fox, leaving Vermin shocked that how come the magic ended at this fast pace. Marion is lying on the ground motionless. She begins to mumble a song that Lucia hears. Lucia recalls impromptu that this is the song she used to hear, song that strikes her ears in the kitchen. A splashing light illuminates the whole castle with its beam entering the castle through the windows and open doors. Everyone was amazed to see this lightning as there were no signs of rain a few minutes ago. Nonetheless, the prince takes a sip of hot coffee and tells Lenore that he wants a positive response from the Grand Duke when they are sitting in the guest room. On the other hand, Lucia, who now has restored her original identity, runs towards Marion. She's crying to see Marion at this state. Thinking that Marion must be taken away from the rain, Marion's uniform tears off as Lucia tries to pull her body. A tear comes out of Marion's eyes and mixed with rainwater. The rainwater is no more pouring on Marion and Lucia as someone has now shadowed his cloak over them. Lucia looks back while she still has tears in her big eyes, surprised to see a blur image of Perron, Abe Lord, in front of her. Freezing water of rain is running down his face. Lucia is amazed to see what he's doing here. Vermin, with his magical power, drags Lucia towards him and hides her in his cloak. He then questions Perrain that what's he doing here when he's being called on by the Crown Prince. He further investigates why he's trying to indulge himself in the mysterious case of the king and princess's death, trying to knock princess's name out of the culprit's list. Divine beasts are not supposed to butt into human world's personal affairs for no reason. Lucia's eyes spark out of excitement, wondering that is Perion also a divine beast too? Vermin starts to scold him, stating that Perion is getting some treasures from the dead princess for doing this. Unresponsive to what he is saying, Perion continues to stare at Lucia. Perhaps he was guessing that she is the Princess Annelle. Observing the scenario, Vermin clarifies that Lucia is his sister. And she knows nothing as she does not go to the Divine Forest frequently. She's just a newly born beast. The guard again enters the scene and apologizes to Pierre for waiting too long and that now the Crown Princess is calling him for the meeting. Pierre turns his back to move to the castle while Vermin warns him to drop his name out of the case, otherwise he would face serious consequences. The sky is clear now and a cool breeze is refreshing the atmosphere. Vermin and Lucia join Renor after the audience finishes and comes to see the capital's Grand Duke. Lucia's first impression on seeing her killer brother is not good. At the Grand Duke's residence, Lucia meets Marion as Vermin had sent her to the Duke's place for treatment. She's wrapped with bandages but manages to introduce herself to Lenore as maid at the castle and nanny of Princess Annelle. Lenore apologizes for calling her in this condition. Then he asks her what he wants to know about the murder of the king and the Princess Annelle. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and press that bell icon to know about our latest videos.